The best show ever.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Pitalico, the best show ever.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. It's the best show ever here on 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports Philadelphia. And there is a lot to talk about today because I don't like where we are right now as Philadelphia Eagles fans. I love where my team is as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, but I don't like where we are as fans right now. We got to discuss it. We'll talk to Olivia Reiner from the Inquirer in the 4 o'clock hour as we continue to get closer and closer, as we inch closer to the NFC Championship game. But let's start with our word of the day. The word of the day today is balance, because yesterday there was a lot of arguing that went around the city of Philadelphia between fans, and I don't like to see that. And there's a lot of arguing with the national media, and I don't like to see that. I want everybody to be together on this today. And we got to come to some sort of balance, okay? Now, today to start the show, I want to make it clear. I don't want to argue with anybody about what the Eagles can't do. If that's what you think, you are entitled to your opinion, and I'm not going to argue with you about it, okay? What I want to focus on to start the show today is on what they can do, okay? Because what I don't like right now is there are Eagles fans, teams in the NFC Championship game, and rather than look to their fellow Eagle fan and try to lift each other up, many of you out there are going to try to listen to Phil Simms' son. Now, what the hell makes you think Phil Simms' son cares about you more than your fellow Eagles fan? It was talking about Phil Simms' son, who said perhaps the stupidest thing in the history of words. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Now, just so you know, when you side with Phil Simms' son rather than your fellow man, this right here is what you're agreeing with.
The Rams definitely won the majority of those plays. If it's not for two strips by the Eagles defense and basically the 3 long touchdown runs, I would say you take away those 5-6 plays there, the Rams football team won the majority of the plays on the field in the game that day.
That's the stupidest thing said in the history of words. If you take away all the good plays the Eagles made, the Rams won. Well, of course, if you take away the good plays, you moron, and I don't mean to be personal, but when you say that with a platform, I got a problem with it because you know you're full of it. And what if you weren't Phil Simms' son? No one would know who you are, man, and you know what you did. You know how you got that job. And to talk like that in public, I find that to be just garbage. And we got Eagles fans listening to that, and we're fighting amongst ourselves. I don't want to fight today. I want to get along. I want to talk about the things that the Eagles do well. Now, before we get into more opinion, Ricky Bo, do you have Saquon Barkley's stats in front of you?
I certainly do. What do you want, the postseason or the regular?
Let's go. Let's start with just Saquon Barkley so we can all agree on something. Saquon Barkley's regular season stats. Let's start there.
Okay. Let's see. 16 games. 345 carries, 2,005 yards. That's a 5.8 average.
Okay.
With 13 touchdowns.
With 13 touchdowns. Now, let's now go to the postseason stats so far there, Ricky Bo. You got those in front of you?
I do have them in front of me. As a matter of fact, you're looking at, let's see, 2 games, 51 carries, 324 yards. That's a 6.4 and a pair of touchdowns.
Okay. That's something they can do. They have Saquon Barkley, which means no one else has Saquon Barkley, and he's tremendous. Can we agree? If we're looking for some balance, they can do that. Savannah, do you have the accolades for the Eagles' offensive line in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Could you please read those off for the people, please?
Of course. So the Eagles' offensive line has 2 All-Pros. Lane Johnson, second-team All-Pro, his 5th, by the way. Jordan Mailata, second-team All-Pro, his 1st. Then you have the Pro Bowlers, Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, and Cam Jurgens.
So 4 of the 5 guys are either Pro Bowlers or All-Pro along that offensive line.
Yes.
Therefore, we can all agree they can block. They can block, and they have a great running back. So, and then do we all agree, mathematically, that they had the number 1 defense during the regular season?
100%.
That's true. And
I'm on that one.
And even Phil Simms' son had to admit they got the 2 takeaways again
but
in
they
the
don't
last
count.
game. No, see what I mean? Those count. So, hey, Eagles fans, I want to be on board with everybody. How about today? We try to find some balance. A lot of you have been focused on what the Eagles can't do, and I'm not going to argue with you there because I can't change your mind. They don't play a game on a Tuesday. They play Sunday, 3 o'clock at the Link, okay? We're all going to be rocking and rolling during that game. So I can't change your mind. I'm not going to try. But can we agree on the things that they do well today? Can we talk about what the Eagles do well, Ricky Bo,
yes,
and build off of that?
Here's the thing about what Sim said, and this bothers me, and this comes like from a point of view when I was playing. If I came in, bases loaded, nobody out, I got the first two guys out. Okay, struck the first two guys out. Third guy, I leave a pitch down the middle of the plate. He hits a grand slam. I get the next guy out in 2 pitches. I get out of there in 10 pitches, and somebody walks up and says, hey, you only made one bad pitch. Did you see where it ended up? I mean, but that's the point I'm trying to say. Hey, if I go through my seasons and I was able to pick out like 6 bad games, I'd have Hall of Fame numbers. Everybody would.
Right. You're right. And that's the problem. So we're not going to do this. We're not going to do this because think about the circular thing you're going to do. You're going to say the Eagles stink of something. We're going to say it doesn't matter. You're going to say it does matter. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I don't want to do that. So how about we look at the things that the Eagles did well to get to 16 wins so far? There are things they do well that we can all agree on. They have Saquon Barkley. Does anybody out there want to dispute that having Saquon Barkley is an asset? They block up front. They do a tremendous job. Do we want to dispute that? Do we want to dispute the number 1 defense? Do we want to dispute that the line has moved from 4.5 at the open up to the 6 in Eagles' favor? What do we want to do today? We want to try to find some balance. Because what I don't want anymore is Eagles fans arguing with Eagles fans. Eagles fans putting poor young Savannah through just hell, having to filter through garbage text messages. That Booney, a man who's just recovered. He's just back a couple of weeks. And he's got to deal with listening to that if the Rams didn't score any points, they'd have shut up. They've been shut out. Like, what are we doing here? How about today, for 4 hours, we talk about and look at this football team, and we're not even talking about opinion. Let's look at the facts of what they do well, and we'll talk about why doing that many things well has led to this many wins, and it's going to lead to 2 more wins. 610-632-0975. Eagles going to the NFC Championship, and we can't be fighting amongst ourselves, and we can't be siding with Phil Simms' son. Phil Simms' son does not deserve a platform that he has. He did not earn the platform that he has, and he does not earn you guys' respect.
And the comment is flat out garbage.
It's the dumbest thing said in the history of words, and words have been around mad long. You can go look at the old caveman cave drawings, and you will not find one dumber than what Phil Simms' son said, and that's why I say nay to him. I say nay to everything he said, and anybody that agrees with him is my enemy, and we'll talk about it here on 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports Philadelphia.